You may have noticed that US presidential election candidates focus on particular states when campaigning. We're here to explain why. Before we continue, though, remember, the US presidency is not determined by a popular vote, rather what's called the Electoral College. We have an explainer on this, so head to that to find out more before you continue with us on this swing state journey. So, Brian, we were talking about in our last video that campaigns eye up states where they could plausibly win electoral college votes to bring them to that magic 270 number. So what experts do, they look at different states to see how they traditionally vote. Do they usually vote red, Republican? Do they usually vote blue for Democrats? What's the pattern?
Yeah, and it's all about the pattern. It's all about those colours. You look at the red, the blue. This is the way Hillary Clinton's vote went and Donald Trump's vote went last time out. A very interesting map. A lot of red. Donald Trump wins the White House. And then you look at those individual states. And within the states, some of them are seen as safe states. Always vote Democrat, always vote Republican. For example, in the state of California, the Democrats could pretty much run a cardboard cutout and would probably win. Similarly, a state like Alabama always goes red, always goes Republican. So the map is very much divided into the reds and the blues. So if you are a candidate, like, for example, the Democratic candidate campaigning in a state like California, you might well ask, why am I pumping all my money into buying up ads and spending all this campaign money in a state like California, which I'm going to win anyway? Would I not be better off diverting my money into a swing state, into a state that can go either way, could go red, could go blue, and a state that carries a lot of electoral college votes?
But Brian, some of these states can be difficult to predict. They don't have a reliable voting pattern, red or blue. So they're called swing states, they're called battleground states, they're called purple states. And there's a number of them. They could be from Florida, they could be Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan and Ohio.
Yeah, and if you're the candidate, you look at those states and you think, well, which one do I have a good chance of winning? How many electoral college votes will it bring me? And we have seen that constantly, Jackie, over the last few weeks here in the US. When Donald Trump and Joe Biden go out campaigning, they are targeting those key swing states because that's where they are hoping to secure the state and to secure enough electoral college votes to get them to that magic number of 270 electoral college votes.
So what this really means is that the contest for the presidential election really boils down to these swing states. That's where candidates go. They pump a lot of their money, a lot of their resources, a lot of their time into these swing states. But to assess what swing states are in 2020, we really need to go back to 2016. Because in 2016, all indications pointed towards the usual swing states like Florida, Iowa and North Carolina. But when the results came in, clearly states were overlooked as possible swing states.
Yes, and that was the big problem for Hillary Clinton. She thought she had what was called the blue wall built up, a wall of blue Democrat states that she thought was safe. And those key states for her were Pennsylvania, Michigan and Wisconsin. Everybody thought she was going to win them. Towards the end, she didn't even bother campaigning in them. She didn't go to them. But she didn't. Donald Trump won those three states, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin and Michigan, by the tiniest of margins, but it was enough to get him over the line and to win him the White House.
Thanks so much, Brian. So considering the tight margins, there is a lot riding on these three states in 2020. So remember them for election night.